and we don't have any oversight. We need to gain control of these entities that are doing the testing and say, no, there has to be hearings, there has to be public oversight, and we have to look at what we're doing because we could impact weather, climate, food supply, human health, all these things.
Are you finding with the new administration there is more cooperation, or it's just business as usual and closed doors?
It's hard for me to say, but I look at the appointments of the Obama administration. We have Energy Secretary Chu, who was formerly head of Lawrence Livermore Lab, who is in favor of genetically modified crops. I went back and did a lot of research, and he's for nuclear power, and just now Florida approved a new nuclear power plant. The energy bill,
actually 3 of them they approved.
3 of them?
Yeah,
I knew about one.
Yeah, we did a show on that recently. Yes.
But see, they're going to take this energy bill, U.S. Senate Bill 1733. They're going to provide the insurance because the insurance companies won't insure these power plants. So they're going to provide the funding and the insurance for these new power plants. And the bill is just riddled with new power plants, nuclear power plants. So we're having that difficulty as well, that this is a nuclear power bill. And so the people that Obama has put into office are proponents of nuclear power and bringing it back. So where we fought them off here in California because they wanted to put them for example, in Point Arena, they were going to put it on an earthquake fault, and we stopped that one. Rancho Seco nuclear power plant had so much failures that they finally shut it down permanently. The one in Eureka, California had to be finally shut down because of accidents. So the record of the nuclear power industry is pretty bad. And now, even now, some of the nuclear power plants back east have trouble still. Connecticut Yankee is one that's had a great deal of trouble. So now this new bill is talking about bringing nuclear power back with, then you have heating of the water, you have water vapor releases. It takes cold water to cool these plants, so you've got to have a source of water, and the water goes back into rivers and streams too warm. You've got uranium mining. You've got nowhere to store the nuclear waste. I mean, all of these things are going to be taking place if this bill passes. So there's a lot of reasons to defeat this bill.
Yes, there certainly are, and there's a lot of reasons to try and become as aware as possible about what's going on. Rosalind, slightly off topic, and I don't know if these are 2 issues you have comments on. How do you feel? I see both of these as total insanity. One was NASA I believe they did it last night or yesterday, flying a rocket or something, a missile into the moon, and also the Hadron Collider. How do you feel about those 2 schemes?
Yes. I don't think that we should be bombing the moon for any reason. That's a waste of our tax dollars just for experiments. We could be using the money for other more beneficial things for people here on Earth. And I think the more atmospheric experiments we do using our atmosphere and the moon as laboratory science could have possible negative effects on us all here. So I think that should come to a grinding halt. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN, Switzerland, years ago they were going to put it and have it operational in Texas. And that was stopped. And so then they just shifted and decided they would put it over into Switzerland. And they've had some problems with it going online. But they keep trying to do this experiment. Well, this is not an experiment that's going to, it may answer some scientific physics questions, but it's not an experiment that's going to benefit mankind particularly. So just to know a few, for things for some physics reasons, they want to go ahead with these tremendous experiments at great cost. And we are definitely putting a lot of money into that program as well. And the scientists are excited because then they can experiment and find out these questions that they have. But on the other hand, the money that's being spent and the risks that are being taken are tremendous in comparison to any small benefit to a small group of scientists.
Right, and the absolute billions being spent at risk of goodness knows what possible reactions, particularly the Hadron Collider, just is mind-boggling to me, and I certainly don't think we should be blasting missiles off at the moon. Rosalind, thank you so much for talking to us today. Yes, please do. Can I
close with 2 sentences, 3 sentences,
yes,
actually?
Absolutely.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, Senator Barbara Boxer, and Senator Whitehouse from Rhode Island wrote a letter on June 19th, 2009. And in the course of this letter, this is what it says. And it's about the Navy warfare testing program. It says, in many regions, the Navy plans to increase the number of its exercises or expand the areas in which they may occur. And virtually every coastal state will be affected. Some exercises may occur in the nation's most biologically sensitive marine habitats, including national marine sanctuaries and breeding habitats. In all, the Navy anticipates more than 2.3 million takes, or the killing or harming of marine mammals. They define it as significant disruptions in marine mammal foraging, breeding, and other essential behaviors. Per year, or 11.7 million losses over the course of a 5-year permit.
It's devastation. It really is on such a monstrous scale.
Yes.
And I think as a race and a species to be committing such a hideous crime, which it is, a crime against living sentient beings, I think the repercussions for the human race is horrendous, whether people want to acknowledge something that esoteric or not. Never mind the actual physical damage that it's going to do.
Yes, I agree.
Rosalind, your website's agriculturedefensecoalition.org. There's also californiaskywatch.com, of course preceded with www. Also newswithviews.com/Peterson/Rosalind. Are there any other very relevant links, or can people just go to those sites and find all the information?
People can go to those sites, or they can call me at 707-485-7520, or they can email me at info, at californiaskywatch.com. All of this data is online. People can look at the Navy programs, the environmental impact statements. They can look at the weather modification maps. It's all online, and it's there. And if you have any problems or need additional information, they can call me.
Well, Rosalind, once again, thank you very much. I hope we can talk again soon and get another update from you about what's going on. Thank you for the great work that you do.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. It's been a privilege.
You're listening to 2012 and Beyond on 96.5 LPFM in Sarasota, also streaming live at WSLR.org. Welcome back. You're listening to 2012 and Beyond on WSLR Radio. My next guest is Bonnie Hoeg, and she is the founder of the Bonfire Coalition. She's going to be talking to us about the organization and also the upcoming National Sky Awareness Week. Bonnie, thank you for being on the phone.
Thank you for having me. The Sky Awareness Week is actually more than national. It's international, and it's October 12th through the 19th, coming right up. Sky Awareness Week, and after the 19th of October, it will become Sky Awareness every day. So we're not letting this fall by the wayside. It is described on the website, and I'll speak about that in the websites in a moment, but it's described as an international celebration of the sky and the assertion that the sky belongs to all of us. People who have been concerned about if they've been watching pluming persistent jet contrails, this is an opportunity to get your neighbors and friends to look up and say, no, that is not commercial jet traffic. That's intentional. Those X's, crosshatches, parallel lines, pluming out into the sky, expanding.